as judges, and we have to challenge our own implicit bias that may exist.
And I've heard decisions that were not fair and equitable, and that experience really opened my eyes.
And we know that our country has a history of treating people unfairly. I've seen it in our local courts.
People are literally out in the streets protesting a lot of injustice that they're
as judges, and we have to challenge our own implicit bias that may exist. And one way I've tried to do that over the years is to, look at my own potential implicit biases. I've attended trainings as an attorney. I've also had the opportunity to attend Justice Raquel Montoya Lewis's implicit bias training when I was a volunteer guardian ad litem, which I found just hugely helpful. And so I don't think it just ends there, though. I think that's one part of it, recognizing what those may be. But I also think we need to take it a step further as judges, and we have to be willing to objectively look at our own decisions. And whether that's a long-term kind of snapshot and just analyzing whether certain things are creeping in or their patterns or whatnot, I think that's something that we need to be willing to do as judges, just to ensure that people are being treated fairly and with impartiality.
For decades, I've represented clients in superior courts in 5 counties throughout the state, including Whatcom County. And I've heard decisions that were not fair and equitable, and that experience really opened my eyes. Before taking the bench, it is imperative that attorneys have this experience. Secondly, judges must not be beholden to anyone for their jobs. No endorsements from elected officials or campaign contributions from anyone. When a judge has taken endorsements from the prosecutor, the sheriff, the county council members, police guilds, and I'm not knocking these people at all, believe me, but the citizens, and I mean all citizens, not just minorities or the poor or the homeless, but all citizens believe that it is against them against us against the swamp. There must be a clear, bright line separating the judge from the parties and their attorneys. Then that line must never be crossed. The judge must never be a member of the swamp. So that's how I can assure people that my decisions will be fair and equitable to all people of all races and all backgrounds.
This is an important, probably the most important question facing judicial candidates in this election. And we know that our country has a history of treating people unfairly. I've seen it in our local courts. The history of not affording people the basic dignity they deserve. And now rightfully, this is in the national spotlight. For my part, if elected, I pledge to treat all people with due dignity and respect. I promise that for each individual that comes into my courtroom, I will listen and seek to understand the circumstances that brought them before the court. I know that people are more than just a court case, more than a file, more than a statistic. They have lives and families, and they are each unique. So as judge, I'll seek to understand each person for who they are, and hopefully, as a result, I'll make decisions that are equitable and fair. Now, I know this won't fix the systemic problems we face, but it'll be my part to build trust in our communities.
A terrific question. I think it's very timely, especially considering everything that we are seeing going on across our country. I mean, people are literally out in the streets protesting a lot of injustice that they're seeing, particularly around our criminal justice system. But so the things that I will do if I'm elected to this important position are to continue to educate myself on issues such as implicit bias and things of that nature, so that I can learn the tools and the skills needed to make sure that my decision-making in every case is fair and equitable. I also want to promote, the recording of good data so that we can look at our decisions with those variables factored in to determine, whether truly our decisions are fair and equitable. Because even with the best of intentions, sometimes, unfortunately, we see discriminatory effects in the outcomes.